What are the things you're telling them to that they should consider when, connecting and needing to bridge the gap with the Gen Zs in today's what I like to call career economy?
Hmm. Um, I would probably ask a question, and I would ask, if you think about the early career experience at your organization right now, how many of you would want to stay?
Mm,
And I feel like, those shows like, what's that show? Undercover Boss.
mhm.
Those are always the most powerful shows. Those programs that put people on, in the day to day, driving the Ubers and working in the kitchen and like really like doing the work that probably no one really wants to do.
Yep.
Those are the best. Those are the best experiences because they actually provide so much insight as to how you feel when you're doing the work, what the experience is like, why you might stay, why you might leave. And I think if I were to ask specifically the CEOs and that type of demographic, that question of like, "Hey, do you even know what it's like to live in a day in the life of like a young professional in your organization? Like, do you know what the typical experience is?" And if I were also to maybe do an internal audit and like collect some quotes, of
Mhm.
course I'd be fair. Of course I'd have, a fair representation of the overall sentiment, and I collect some good quotes and probably some bad ones. But I think, the power of explaining like the gap between perception and reality and getting to a place where I could bring their minds back to like, okay, well, if your perception is up here and the reality is here, and I bring you back down to here, and then I'm like, okay, how do we build from here? Then that is a great starting point because that means we're all on the same level. And
Mhm.
I would also say the incentive is, if you don't think about the experience of being here in 5 years when, Gen Z is 50% of the workforce, you're going to have a really hard time attracting and recruiting and retaining people.
Yep.